Hey, have you ever wondered how a sneeze gets out of your nose? Like, how does that explosion of germs and mucus actually escape? Well, imagine your nose is a tiny vacuum cleaner trying to suck out all the stuff that's stuck in there. But instead of sucking, it just lets go with a sneeze. So your nose is like a pressure cooker, and the sneeze is the steam trying to escape. Only it's not steam. It's your body's way of saying, I'm done with this stuff. But here's the kicker, your nose isn't just letting it out, it's also throwing it out of your mouth. Like, your nose is a sneeze magician and your mouth is the exit ramp. So next time you sneeze, remember, your nose is doing some serious work and you're just the passenger on the sneeze roller coaster. So what exactly are we talking about? Let me be clear. We're not talking about a sneeze like it's a sneaky little thief. We're talking about a sneeze like it's a superhero, trying to escape through your nose. This is not just your run-of-the-mill nose. This is a nose with a secret tunnel system, built by evolution to let out all that stuff you don't want in your face. So we're not just talking about a sneeze, we're talking about a sneeze with a plan, a path, and a purpose. Like, it's not just sneezing, it's sneezing with intention. And we're talking about the nose. Not just the thing you put your nose in, but the actual organ. The real deal, the one that's part of your respiratory system and also your personal air filter. So in short, we're talking about how the sneeze, which is basically your body's way of saying, I'm not a fan of this stuff, finds its way out of your nose. Let's get into the dirt, the mucus, and the science of it all. So here's the thing, you're not just sneezing to get rid of dust. You're basically doing a tiny, involuntary emergency evacuation of your nasal passages. It's like your nose is on fire and you're trying to blow out the flames of the sneeze. And if you think about it, sneezing is kind of a superpower. You're basically throwing out a bunch of germs and dirt without even trying. It's like your body's built an air purifier, but with a lot more drama. But here's the catch. You can't control where that sneeze goes. It's like trying to aim a fire hose with your nose. You might think you're sneezing into a tissue, but you're probably sneezing into the air, which is bad for everyone around you. So even though it feels like you're just blowing your nose, you're actually doing a tiny bit of public service. You're helping to clean the air, even if it's in a very sneeze-like way. And honestly, you should be proud. You're doing something useful without even realizing it. Your nose is basically a superhero in disguise, and it's sneezing like it's got a mission. Okay, let's rewind to the dawn of humans, when sneezing was just a side effect of being a weird, sneaky creature. Back then, sneezes were just sneezes. No special powers, just a nose that needed to clear. Ancient people probably thought sneezing was magic or a sign from the gods. Like, oh no, the nose gods are angry. Which is basically what we do today, just with better snacks. Fast forward to the Renaissance and sneezing was still a mystery. People started to think about how the body works, but they still blamed the moon or the stars. No one had a nose camera yet. By the 19th century, science started to catch up. Doctors finally realized that sneezes are just the body's way of cleaning out the nose, like a tiny vacuum cleaner made of spit and drama. And now, with modern science and sneeze-proof masks, we know it's all about the nose's defense system. Sneezing is like the body's own alarm clock, but with more snot and less sleep. So imagine your nose is a tiny, angry robot. It's got this big red button on the top, and when you sneeze, it presses the button and yells boo woo 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 woo. But that button isn't just pressing air, it's actually a sneaky little escape route for all the junk you've been breathing in. So when you sneeze, it's like your nose is saying I'm not taking this anymore. And then it throws a big, loud, smelly party to get rid of all the gunk. And the best part? You can't stop it. You try to hold it in, but your nose is like, nah, I'm doing my thing. So basically, your nose is a tiny, angry superhero with a sneeze-powered jetpack, trying to keep your lungs clean. And we're all just cheering it on. So you're sitting there minding your own business, when bam, something tickles your nose. Like a tiny invisible booger just said, hey, I'm here. And you're like, oh no, not again. Your brain is like, okay, this isn't a sneeze, this is a sneeze in training. Time to call in the backup squad. And that squad is your nose, your sinuses, and your throat. So your nose is like a tiny tunnel, and your sinuses are like the walls of that tunnel. And somehow, in there, a sneeze is about to start. But here's the thing, sneezes don't just pop out of nowhere. They're like a slow boil, building up pressure until you're like, oh, I can't take this anymore. And then boom! So the setup is just your nose being annoyed, the sinuses being the walls, and the throat being the exit. Ready for the real action? Let's go! Okay, so now the sneeze is all built up inside your nose. It's like a tiny volcano about to erupt. But how does it actually get out? Well, your nose has this little door called the nostril, and it's basically the exit ramp for this sneeze party. Your nose muscles do a quick push, like when you're trying to blow your nose but you're not even trying. It's like when you're in a rush and you just blow everything out. That pressure forces the sneeze out through the nostrils. But here's the kicker. Your nose is actually a two-way street. Sneezes can go out the nose or the mouth, depending on how dramatic you are. Some people are like, I'm not done yet, and they sneeze through their mouth. The sneeze is super fast, like a superhero flying out of your face. It can go up to 100 mph, which is faster than a speeding bullet, but not as fast as a confused raccoon trying to find its way home. And voila! The sneeze is gone, leaving behind a tiny cloud of germs and a little bit of drama. Your nose is like a superhero, cleaning up your sinuses and keeping your face safe from the evil sneeze virus. So here's the clever twist: your nose doesn't just let the sneeze out, it actually helps push it out. Like when you're trying to get a stuck soda straw out of a bottle, you twist it to get the last drop out. Your nose muscles contract, kind of like when you're trying to get a booger out of your nose, but way more intense. It's like a sneeze built-in turbo boost. This twist also helps direct the sneeze straight out, not sideways or up your face. Imagine trying to sneeze into a pillow. Your nose does the work to make sure it goes the right way. And here's the best part: this twist actually helps prevent the sneeze from going back into your nose. Like a one-way door for your sneeze, only cooler. So next time you sneeze, remember your nose is like a sneeze wizard, using a clever twist to make sure your sneeze escapes with style and not a face full of snot. Okay, so sneezes aren't just random stuff coming out of your nose. There's a whole sciencey reason why they escape the way they do. It's like your body's trying to throw a tiny party through your nose. Your nose is basically a super-powered vacuum cleaner. It's got this little muscle called the inferior turbinate that helps push the sneeze out when you're all snotty and stuffy. And then there's this thing called the sneeze reflex. It's like your body's built-in sneeze button. When you're irritated, it hits the button and boom, out it comes. But here's the kicker: your nose isn't just a passageway. It's got this maze of little tubes and chambers that help mix up the sneeze, like a tiny blender. So yeah, sneezing is basically your body's way of saying, I'm done with this snotty mess. It's a fancy, fast, and slightly gross way of getting rid of the bad stuff. So imagine your nose is a tiny, sneeze-powered rocket. The sneeze is the fuel, and your nose is the rocket ship trying to blast off. But instead of going to space, it's trying to escape through your nose. It's like if your nose was a balloon full of glitter, and you accidentally poked it with a feather. The glitter starts flying out in every direction, but somehow it all ends up going through your nose. Your nose isn't just a passive observer, it's like a tiny, sneeze-happy DJ, mixing up the sneeze sound and directing it to your nose with a weird sense of style. So even though it sounds ridiculous, the sneeze actually follows a path through your nose, guided by the air pressure and the shape of your nasal passages. It's messy, it's loud, but it works. And if you ever feel like your nose is trying to escape through itself, you're not imagining things. It's just doing what it does best: sneezing. So here's the part that sounds like a made-up thing from a sci-fi movie, but it's real. Your nose has this tiny, secret door that sneezes use to escape. It's like a hidden exit, but for boogers. Quick word from our sponsor. If this sounds like something you'd enjoy, take a look at the Stanley Quinter 40 Tumbler. There's a link and a QR code on screen right now, and in the description below. Alright, back to it. This door is called the nasal duct, and it connects your nose to your tear ducts. Yeah, your tears and boogers are kind of related. It's like your face's plumbing system. So the sneeze uses the tears to help it escape through the nose. It's like a sneeze getting a ride on a tear train. You're welcome, sneeze. This whole system is super weird, but it works. Your nose isn't just a nose, it's a sneeze highway, a tear canal, and a booger escape route all in one. It's like a multi-use road, but for your face. So next time you sneeze, remember, you're not just sneezing. You're also sending a message through your tear ducts and using a secret nose door. It's like a sneeze with a side of tears. Okay, so I'm gonna bust a myth right now. Like, the myth that sneezes come out your nose because you're mad. No, that's not it. It's more like your nose is a sneeze highway, and your brain is the traffic cop. Another myth is that you can't sneeze with your eyes open. That's not true. I've done it. I've sneezed with my eyes open, and it's like a horror movie. You're not ready for this. People also think sneezes are like a superpower. Like, you can control where they go. But no, they're just a big, messy, involuntary explosion of stuff. Your body doesn't care where it lands. And here's the real kicker. Sneezes are not just about germs. They're about your body trying to get rid of stuff. Like, if you have a dusty nose, it's like your nose is saying, I'm done with this. So, to recap, the myth is that sneezes come out because of some magical nose power. But really, it's just your body doing its job. And now you know more than you ever wanted to about sneezes. So there's this myth that sneezes go through your nose because you're stuffy or something. But really, it's just your nose being a bit of a drama queen. You know, like when you're trying to tell a joke and your nose just won't stop interrupting. Nope, not because your nose is full of snot. It's more like your nose is just trying to get rid of that weird stuff that got stuck in there. Think of it like when you accidentally swallow a sock, and your throat is like, I'm not doing this again. Another myth is that sneezing through your nose is like a secret handshake with your sinuses. But really, your nose is just doing its job, like a really bad detective trying to solve a mystery of what's in here. And here's the kicker, your nose isn't even the main player in sneezing. Your brain is the real MVP, sending that sneeze signal like it's trying to say, hey, someone's in here. So yeah, the nose isn't the villain in this sneeze story. It's just the actor trying to do its job. And if you're sneezing, congrats, you're doing the whole thing right. You think you're just sneezing, but you're actually doing a secret mission. Your nose is like a tiny escape tunnel, and your sneeze is the superhero trying to get out. Ever notice how sneezing feels like your face is being squeezed? That's your nose trying to make a getaway, like a kid trying to get out of a sandcastle. When you sneeze, your nose is basically shouting, I'm not done yet. I have to get this stuff out. It's like a kid who won't stop talking until they're heard. And the best part? You don't even realize you're doing it. Your nose is like a sneaky robot, doing its job without you knowing. So next time you sneeze, think of your nose as a secret agent on a mission. It's not just a nose, it's a sneeze spy. Okay, so I tried to sneeze into my hand, but my hand was already holding a sandwich. That's when I realized my nose has a built-in escape route. It's like a secret tunnel in a spy movie, but with boogers. The sneeze didn't stop. It went through my nose, out my mouth, and then it hit the sandwich. That's when the sandwich got a little extra flavor. Like, I've been sneeze-ified. I tried to blame the sandwich, but it was the sneeze's fault. It's like a superhero with a nose trying to escape a prison made of mucus. It's dramatic, it's messy, it's basically a nose opera. So, if you're ever in a sneeze emergency, just remember, your nose is a highway, not a toll booth. And your mouth? It's the exit ramp. Don't be a traffic jam. In the end, the sandwich survived. That means it went viral, at least in my head. That's how it works, right? So, I just looked up the world record for the longest sneeze, and it's not what you think. It's not about how far you can sneeze. It's about how hard you can sneeze. Like, someone sneezed so hard they broke a glass. It's like a sneeze with a side of superhero strength. The guy who set the record was trying to break the world record for sneeze distance, but he ended up breaking the world record for sneeze force. It's like trying to open a jar of pickles with a sledgehammer. You're not supposed to do that, but hey, someone did. And then there's the sneeze that traveled over 100 feet. Not because it was super fast, but because it was super strong. It's like a sneeze that could knock down a tree, but instead of a tree, it knocked down a sign. That's a sneeze with a side of destruction. So, in the end, the record isn't about how far you can sneeze, it's about how hard you can sneeze. It's like trying to do a handstand on a trampoline while wearing socks. You're not supposed to do it, but someone did, and now they're famous for it. So, the next time you sneeze, just remember, you're not just sneezing, you're potentially breaking the world record. But don't try to break it in the middle of a crowded subway. That's when you really start to make history and a mess. Okay, so you're sneezing like a dragon, but instead of fire, you're shooting out a rainbow of snot. You're like a superhero with a nose that's also a water hose. Now imagine you're not just sneezing, you're sneezing into your hand, and your hand becomes a temporary snot sponge. You're like a human mop, but with more drama. And then, the worst part, your sneeze hits a mirror. Suddenly you're not just sneezing, you're sneezing into a reflective wall. You're like a human disco ball, but with more germs. You're sneezing so hard you accidentally sneeze into your own eye. Now you're crying, sneezing, and blinking like a confused raccoon. You're like a sad emoji with a runny nose. And finally, you're sneezing so hard you knock over a glass of water. Now you're not just sneezing, you're creating a mini flood. You're like a toddler with a sneeze and a water gun. So here's the catch, my friends. Your nose is basically a sneeze escape hatch, but it's also a one-way door. Once that sneeze is out, it's not coming back. No refunds, no second chances. You're stuck with the aftermath. And guess what? That sneeze isn't just a fancy exit. It's a full-blown sneeze parade. It's got momentum, it's got style, and it's not slowing down for anything. You can't stop it. You can't reverse it. It's like a sneeze on a mission. So you're not just sneezing, you're launching a sneeze missile. It's got power, it's got purpose, and it's got a pretty decent range. You might even hit the ceiling if you're not careful. That's not a sneeze, that's a sneeze missile strike. And here's the real kicker. You can't control where that sneeze lands. It's like a sneeze tornado, but with more force and less warning. You can't predict the trajectory, and you definitely can't stop it once it's in the air. So yeah, your nose is a sneeze exit, but it's not exactly a vacation spot. It's more like a sneeze launch pad, and once you're in the game, there's no turning back. You're just a sneeze tourist, and you're not getting a refund. So, how do we even figure out that sneezes come out of your nose? Well, it's not like someone stuck a camera up your nose and said, "Hey, let's film this." Turns out, ancient people were just like, "Hey, when I sneeze, my nose feels like it's pushing something out." And then they were like, "Maybe it's the same thing that comes out when I blow my nose." They even realized that sneezing is like a superpowered nose blow, and that your nose is the main exit, not your mouth. Though, honestly, your mouth is a backup. So, through observation, basic logic, and a lot of people sneezing into cups, we finally got to the conclusion. Sneezes come out of your nose. It's kind of like if your nose is a tiny vacuum cleaner, and sneezing is just a coughing up the dust. So, what if your nose is blocked, and you're trying to sneeze? Like you're stuck in a nose sandwich. Your sneeze has to find a way out, even if it means going through your mouth. It's like a sneeze trying to escape a fortress with only one door, and it's locked. But here's the weird part, some people sneeze through their mouth even when their nose is clear. It's like your body is playing a game of hot potato with your sneeze, and it just randomly decides to pass it off. Who knew your nose had a sneeze hotline? Quick word from our sponsor. If this sounds like something you'd enjoy, take a look at the Kindle Paperwhite e-reader. There's a link and a QR code on screen right now, and in the description below. Alright, back to it. And then there's the rare case of someone sneezing through their ears. Yeah, I know, it sounds like a weird dream, but it's actually possible. Your nose and ears are connected to the eustachian tubes, so if your nose is super blocked, your sneeze might just take the scenic route through your ears. Imagine your sneeze is like a lost tourist trying to get out of the city. It might take a detour through your mouth, or even your ears, just to find its way home. It's not a plan, it's a survival instinct. Or maybe it's just really lazy. So next time you sneeze, remember it's not just your nose doing the work. It's a whole sneeze party with your mouth, ears, and maybe even your nose's best friend, the eustachian tube. Stay sneeze safe, and never underestimate the power of a good sneeze escape plan.